We're messing with replacing the radiator in the wagon for the multipleth time. It's had a few radiators, but we got us a good one this time, I hope. Yeah, for a while I've been running this 4-core brass GM original. It's actually a 68 C10 radiator my buddy gave me, and it had done pretty well. But it had been a few times when water came out and I didn't really figure out how, because then it wasn't leaking, then it was. I'd drive it and it didn't leak anything. And it seemed like apparently when I would fully top it off or overfill it in the expansion, apparently I think it was starting to leak at the seam here. So it just needs a service. So I mean, I'm gonna just fix this radiator, but it started leaking on me. I've been driving this to the races, and you know, it didn't fit quite right. This was a 3-core car originally, so the radiator support brackets that are welded in, I had bent on them to try to spread them out to get a 4-core in it. It ends up sitting up too high, and then the shroud doesn't drop down all the way. The metal plate that goes here didn't go down all the way, so it's been kind of half-assed for a while. Previously, I ran the aluminum radiator that's in the Firebird in here to make sure it was working well, and we ran it for a while, just kind of temporary, back 2 years ago, and put the original engine back in when it was rebuilt. Way before that, it still had the original brass 3-core that had quite a bit of rust in it, and I think I've since scrapped it. Probably should have kept it and just had it cleaned out, but it's so cheap to get radiators now, you just don't hardly ever even find a place to clean them, let alone you just buy a radiator. But you know, the first new radiator I bought for this car was a cheap Rock Auto one that looked horrible because it had the plastic tanks with the aluminum center section, and yeah, aluminum fins are so soft. I remember jumping on it, getting on it, and it chunked an alternator or AC belt or something, and oh, you know, the new radiator got a hole knocked in it from the belt coming off into the fan, and the V-belt slapped the radiator fins and punched holes in my new radiator just because I jumped on it revving it out, and then the belts came off and took out the new radiator. So that's some of the dumb luck that I've had. So I've already used the handy dandy little remover there for all the bolts. That's so easy. But I just had zip ties holding some of this because it's crap. So I'm going to try to get the frame brackets where they should be. I bought a full welded aluminum radiator that should fit the 3-core dimensions. So my hope is the top plate and lower bracket areas will get back to snugging up and fitting properly as it originally did, which feels like a long time ago. So anyways, well, I got all that antifreeze spilled out and wasted so it can go in the ground. You can see where I've bent this bracket out to try to accommodate the 4-core, which essentially lifted it up. That's why the top shroud didn't ever drop down as low as it's supposed to on the top plate. So just part of the suckage. And this wagon was the first time I saw the thorough factory stuff they did to keep things cool, you know, like the rubber pieces here on the sides to seal on the tank. I don't remember having those. This side fell out. It was stuck to the radiator. But we still got our rubber deals. So I'm going to try to bend those back up a little bit to make them fit, maybe. Either way, the 3-core should drop all the way down. So we'll see. I used the adjustable wrench and partially straightened up the previously destroyed when I bent those previously for the wider radiators. So the rubbers are sitting in there okay. So I mean, if this thing fits in snug and the top squeezes down, it'll all be fine. Of course, you can see my shroud, it's missing the bottom and it's all crap, and part of that's you get like saggy motor mounts, or this polyurethane trans mount's too tall and it tilts the motor down and the fans will get tangled into the shroud. It's one of the reasons I put a smaller diameter direct drive flex fan like on the Le Mans, because I was getting a little bit of a fan shroud rub. probably should go back and look at getting a different trans mount. It might tip the engine back and pick the fan up so it doesn't hit the bottom of the shroud. I think that's where the problem may lie. But not to get sidetracked, I'm still using this POS. I'll lay it over the blades again before I button it up. Well, I gotta say, that's a pretty good looking piece right there. It's light, it's narrow, so you know that's gonna fit the saddles. Gotta make sure the hose dimensions are right on the diameter though. A lot of times you get, you know, it wants the bigger diameter and they give you the small diameter on the bottom, so that might be an issue. Well, it lines up correctly in the brackets, so that's a plus. I had a cut piece of radiator hose I used as a spacer on the C10 radiator, because same deal, this stock Cutlass lower hose is the bigger diameter pipe, and every time I keep having a different radiator, it's got too small a neck on the bottom. But looks like it's going to work pretty well. The tank's, I think, a narrower fit, so those factory side seals wouldn't have been very effective, especially on this side. So I pulled off that other one, and anyway, it's a lot lighter. Took a little weight off the nose of the car. Old 350 might get a little quicker next time on the track, and also not leaking water, which is nice. Well, I lifted the radiator out to put the lower hose on so I could more comfortably and less chance of damaging anything slip the hose over that other piece of hose I used as a spacer. So I got it tightened up, plus I straightened up those lower brackets a little bit more, closer to where they need to be. So now upper and lower hoses are on, so that's all good. I have extras on the upper support, so I dug them out the other day because like this is like a 72 Cutlass one, but it has a rubber seal intact. So, and then this one I think's the original to my yellow car, even though I don't know, it's a 4-core car and it should have a wider bracket. This one, this rusty one, is a 70 model. See how, I think they're all the same, but my original wagon one, I bent up here. Maybe I'll just bend it back real quick, or just go use the other one because it's got rubber on it. I could just paint it. Let me just lay this on there and see what happens. Yeah, that 72 one, I still had the rubber under here. We're just going to use it. I peeled off that 72 emission sticker, and this is already fitting nicer. I haven't had anything fit proper in here in a while, so, and it's lighter. I'm kind of happy about that. I think this hole's missing the threads. Thanks again to James for giving me this tool. Never had one of these, but man, it's handy on stuff like this. Really nice. So I got to connect these little bits here. Well, I've got 1.5 gallons or 2 gallons coolant and water in it. I got to go refill the jugs. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the car on so it'll start getting hot, and we'll top it off, let it run, hopefully not drop anything underneath the car that's liquid. Warming up. Guess I'm going to pull it around the driveway, turn it off in a minute, let it get some more pressure on it. Well, the ground's dry. I don't hear anything. That's water I spilled pouring over when I sealed it. Fittings. Good, 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 good. We're gonna call that good. Now on the side, if I wanted to perfect that, I guess I could get heater hose or bigger insulation and shove it down there, and you kind of still want to close that off, you know, and make, the whole point is they're trying to make all the air come forward through the grill. They don't want any back swirling. That's what all that strips are for, you know. But this whole, I think there might have been a piece here. They had like tar paper stuff. Probably was there, got torn off. But there's a hole there anyway. Everybody's got a hole somewhere. But it's what you do with it, you know. So that's it for this simple, super simplistic, but hey, $150 shipped aluminum 3-core radiator, super light, fit properly, and you know, I don't have a temp gauge or doing any kind of testing. The weather's mild, it's only in the 80s now. We'll probably race this one more time at the track on the 23rd, but we might run the truck on the last race on October 30th. I'm gonna put that other torque converter in it, doing that soon to tighten things up. It's got too loose a converter. There's the old cat. I miss that thing. It's gonna get some love soon. Firebird's getting some love. Fixed some bulb lights last night and I'll replace the headlight switch and some other stuff in store with that vehicle soon. So stay tuned for more One Man Garage.